It's not a statement, it's a question. It is not a statement, it's a question. My teacher used to say there's no such thing as a dumb question. I don't know what kind of teachers you had. And last I checked, it's my First Amendment right to ask a question if I so choose. Peace, Gene. What's going on, family? We can ask questions, right? Or are we going to deny black people their rights again and say they can't ask questions? If you have to say ethics has nothing to do with it, it's probably unethical. If you have to say ethics has nothing to do with it, it's probably unethical. If the question above me read PCC, peace, Angie. If the question above me said, "Are bologna sandwiches ethical?" Y'all wouldn't be in here saying it was a stupid question. Y'all wouldn't be in here telling me I shouldn't be asking it. And you wouldn't be up here saying it's not about ethics. You would say it's ethical. You can eat a bologna sandwich. Amber, you having a hard time, so let me help you out. I don't know about bloodlines pure, man. That's where it gets weird for me is when we start talking like the enemy. I hear you. I hear you. You know, but at the same time, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. We don't need to sound like the Germans did in World War II. Diversity has been the strength of Africans for thousands of years. It's just we're diverse when we're in a room by ourselves. When we're in a room with just Africans, we are very diverse people. God made nations. No, he didn't. White supremacists did. Well, the nations that we're talking about where black and white are identifiers. And kept them separate for a reason, did he not? No, God did not make the nations that you're talking about. God didn't make a nation anywhere on earth. God didn't make nations. He just made the universe. He made the earth. He made the people. He made the plants. He didn't make nations. Man made nations. Love is the only reality. Can you define for me what love is, Angela? Since it's so real, please clearly define for me what love is. Crying from outside Africa. Who's crying? You crying in my comments. I don't know where you are, but you the one that's crying, and you don't know where I am, unless you're just basing that on my accent. Okay, shout out to Green Sahara. I like that. I am fully grown. Thank you very much. I'm not African. What am I then? What am I then? If I ain't African, do you go to different Asian American people's lives and tell them you're not Asian? You grew up in Chinatown. You're not Asian. Did you do that? Did that get your rocks off? Do you go to Indian American people and say, "You're not Indian"? Ethical, like respect for individual autonomy, equality, and love, should guide our views on relationships. Respect for individual autonomy. That's an interesting. That's interesting. I don't agree with your definition of ethics. I have the definition up behind me if you want to read it. But if we were to base it on your definition, would you say black people have equality with white people? And would you say that black people have the luxury of love in the midst of oppression? Can you imagine a man being trapped in a fiery furnace with some other people and falling in love with the people that put him in that fiery furnace, that didn't open the door and let that man out of the fiery furnace, but told him, I love you just the same. I didn't make the furnace. I didn't light the fire. And I see that you're burning, but I love you. And that's enough. We can be in a relationship together. White supremacy is the fiery furnace on black people. White supremacy has infiltrated and influenced our lives. The fact that I'm speaking to you in English is evidence of violence. It's evidence of violence. Exhibit A, I speak English. I speak a language that was whipped into my ancestors' backsides. That same cruelty exists to this day. We just seen it with Sonia Massey. Say her name. We've seen it with our ancestors, our cousins, our family members for hundreds of years. That furnace is still burning and we still inside. And some of y'all are in love with the people that put us here and benefit from the warmth of the furnace. I don't get it either, E. Taylor. I don't get it either. Well, that's a lie. I do get it. I know when black people say I don't get it, what they mean is it's hypocritical. It doesn't really connect. It's illogical. I know what you mean. But I understand that fallacy that many of us fall into because we've been told not to love ourselves. We've been told to love those that oppressed us and continue to oppress us. We've been told that when you think of romance, when you think of a romantic date, when you think of royalty and marriage, you think of their ideas of love. They told us that our traditions, our ways of being in love were uncivilized and primitive. We follow their example. We've been indoctrinated. We've been possessed with a devil. We're a possessed people. We've been possessed. We've been poisoned. Our mind is poisoned. We claim that we've made so much progress since slavery. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. We've made so much progress since slavery, they say. Yet here we are, still speaking the same language the enslaved ancestors spoke, still wearing the costumes given to us by our colonizer, still eating the same foods that we ate during slavery, still doing the same things, drinking, smoking, doing the same things that were coping mechanisms for us during slavery. Yes, my name is really Legend. Absolutely peace. Life is a beach. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Share the live, share the live. I'm a little late today. Well, shout out to the little brother, man. Unless you an auntie, then he ain't so little. He might be my age, but you look young, so I'm assuming he's a little brother. Worshiping the same God, absolutely. Still worshiping the same God as the slaves, as the enslaved people. Still eating the same foods. And then, when we talk about love, when we talk about the power dynamic between black and white people, what this live is really about is, can we start to love Europeans after they're done oppressing us? Can we wait? Do we got to do it now? Can we wait? Can we say justice for Sonia Massey before we start loving the people that the police do protect? Can we wait? Can we say maybe put an end to the prison industrial complex and we'll consider it? When you give your physical assets, your mental assets, your spiritual assets to the person that has created a hostile environment for you and your community, you reward injustice. We don't live in an environment of justice for our people yet. So how are we going to marry those that benefit off of injustice? Those that created this injustice in the first place? Black people believe in justice more than white folks do. We believe they're more just. We believe they will deliver justice for us. And they have never shown you that. Never shown you that. How's the same man that wrote All Men Are Created Equal went on to enslave people and essay women on his plantation? This the man that told you justice was blind, but made sure that y'all woke up from sunup to sundown and y'all was working on his plantation. This don't make no sense. I don't know what this means. Love don't have a color. Who thinks this live is about love? Raise your hand. Let me see in the comments. Who thinks this live is about love? Because I'm going to nip this in the bud right now, because a lot of y'all going to come up here with your subjective idea of what love is, and you're going to try to use that to, headlock us in a logical, illogical debate. Come on now. This live don't got nothing to do about love. This live has something to do about justice. This live has something to do about the institution of marriage. This live has nothing to do with what your individual idea of love is. And the fact that you think that this live is about love tells me how misinformed you are on this topic. This ain't about love. This is about business. This is about business. This is about people business. This is about human business. Those that have been treated the most inhumane have the most humanity. Big up to them humans. Those that have been treated the least humane still have the most humanity. We cling to that. That's all we got. The justice system needs to change. The 14th Amendment needs to come down. That don't make no sense. Are you a Klan sister? What are you talking about? The 14th Amendment needs to come down and the system needs to change. I'm confused by that. And that is why the last shall be first. I heard that. It's from the Bible, but I heard that. Yes, of course it's ethical. Of course it's ethical. Of course it's right. I can do whatever I want. I love black men, and I can do whatever I want. If I love them, I don't care that my people oppress them and lock them up, and I don't care that our children will be born and see me as the first example of love and want to be white. But you can't. Sorry. You can't be. You can't inherit the privilege. I'm sorry. You're biracial. You're black. But I love you. So that's all that matters. You're a prisoner of war. But I love you. My people put you in prison. And a lot of y'all will say, we weren't here. We didn't have slaves. We didn't create this mess. Why do we have to pay the price? Because y'all didn't dismantle it. Because y'all haven't dismantled it. If the people that did the crime are long gone, then why do we still have racism? Racism should have been unalived along with them, right? If by your logic, the people that did it are gone. So why isn't the racism gone? Oh, because y'all keep it going. You will have white folks come up here time and time again and talk about how they're not racist. I haven't met many. I've had a few outliers. But on these lives I've been hosting for 2.5 years, I haven't had maybe even 1 in 10 white people come up here and acknowledge that they're racist. They will tell you over and over again, they're not. No, not me. Yet, racism is still here. So where are the racists? Where are they at? Because racism's still happening, but nobody's racist. Wow. Where they at then? Where are the good ones? Where are the crepe crusaders? The crepe, y'all know what crepes are? Anyway, the crepe crusaders, where are they? Why would you assume I'm voting for Kamala? I want to know that. People really think black people are like not smart at all. Y'all really think we're unintelligent. Kamala Harris's race does not matter to me. And it shouldn't matter to anybody. What does Kamala's race have to do with the fact that she's going to lead the empire? What is that? What does her race have to do with anything? Please let me know. White folks are more concerned about her race than black people are. Because y'all the ones keep telling us, you know, she's not black and all this other stuff. There's plenty of black folks that's repeating this rhetoric too. But I don't give a damn whether she black or not. What is that got to do? What's she going to do for black people? What's she going to do for us? That's the problem. They really be playing in our face. They really be playing in our face. They think, oh, put a black one up there, and all the black people will vote for her because she looks like one of them. I'll be seeing this on the internet, people arguing back and forth. Kamala's black. No, she isn't. Yes, she is. I don't give a damn about that woman race. She's the next face of white supremacy. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Her or Donald Trump? Which face do you want on white supremacy? Do you want doo-doo with sprinkles or do you want it raw? You know, get your spoons ready. That's all it is. Some of y'all prefer sprinkles. It's all right. Make it look like ice cream. Just because I criticize one political party doesn't mean I am for the opposing political party. Yeah, I don't care about either one of them political parties. They're not political parties. Those are just two sides of the same coin. That's all that is. Two wings on the same bird. You want a breast or thigh? It's still chicken. Let's not be fooled by the identity politics. Let's not do this. It don't matter if she black. I don't care what her race is. What's she doing for us? Oh, she ain't doing nothing? Okay. Where is the Democrats' version of Project 2025? Good white people, I'm talking to you. Y'all are liberals, right? Where's the liberals at? If you a liberal, put a ghost emoji in the comments. If you a liberal, because that's the closest thing to a Klan outfit. Put a ghost emoji in the comments if you a liberal. And tell me, where is y'all Project 2025? What does it say about a people that can come together and create a document like 2025, like Project 2025, but they can't create a document that's going to talk about what they're going to do to fix 400 years of racism, discrimination, and subjugation? They can't come up with a document like Project 2020. That same group of people can come up with a Project 2025 and tell you how they want to dominate and screw up everything. But for some reason, those liberals can't figure out what they want. They can't give us a direct. What is Kamala going to do? Does anyone know what Kamala's going to do? Trump has made it clear. What is Kamala going to do? 2025 made it clear. And then he got another one. Agenda 47. He has made it clear. Why Kamala ain't made nothing clear? She ain't said nothing. She said, I'm black. Go ahead, shake that ass, Meg. Go ahead, I got Quavo up here. Yeah. I'm black, y'all. I'm a woman too. That's all she's done. Republicans have made it clear. So what does it say about this group of non-racist people? Because none of them are racist. But they can create a racist ass agenda like Project 2025, but they can't give us an anti-racist agenda. They can't give us an anti-Project 2025. They can't respond. They can give us, and so the difference between The difference between the Republican and the Democrat agendas is the Democrats are running on confusion and Republicans are running on assured destruction. So which one do you want? Confusion or assured destruction? It don't make sense. But then watch these white people come up here. It's perfectly ethical. Racism, it just doesn't matter anymore. You're free now. Come on now. They can't figure out how to come up with an agenda to tell you what they're going to do for you, but they still expecting your vote. Meanwhile, the ops done made it clear what they want. They want to take away your rights. If you could take away rights, they're not rights. Let's be honest. If you could take away rights, they are not rights. Let's be honest. A right is something you're entitled to. That's something cannot be taken away. So if I could change your rights, let's be honest. Those aren't rights. Those are privileges. All right, so I'm going to let some people come up here, give us their take. First one, he disappeared. Okay. Go to the next person. Hungry, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm in my 30s. I'm black, and I am a guy.
All right, talk to us.
So this question is posed as if dating interracial is unethical.
Where do you see that?
Well, I'm just wondering if you ask him that is if it's ethical or not.
Have you ever asked yourself this question?
Nah, I never.
Okay.
I've seen other people ask it, and I've entertained. No, I never really entertained it. When I was younger, my godmother is white, so I've been out and about in public with a white woman since I was a little kid. So it never really crossed my mind who I should hang out with, who I shouldn't hang out with based on their color.
Based on their color?
Yeah.
So you mean like the color of their skin?
Well, so the question is ethical, right? So you mean like, should an African person date a South African person, or an African person date or like an Argentinian? Should they date a Honduras person?
Why don't you read the question real slow to me and tell me if that's what I'm asking or not?
Interracial marriages between. Oh, black. I didn't see. I missed the dots there.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was. So. Okay. Nah. I mean, yes. I think they are. I think they are ethical.
You want to qualify that?
What
is your definition of ethical?
My definition. Do you? Oh,
I have the definition of ethical up there.
Oh,
yeah.
look, I'm a little stoned.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll read it to you. Relating to moral principles or the branch of knowledge dealing with avoiding activities that do harm to people.
Let me read it for myself, because you got like a serious concentrated voice. Relating to moral principles of the branch of knowledge dealing with these, avoiding activities or organizations that do harm. So ethical, yeah. No, I think it is. I think it is ethical.
How does it avoid doing harm to black people?
How does it avoid doing harm to black people? Well, let's see.
That would make it ethical.
Yeah. Are we talking about black people as a whole? Are we talking about
We are
singular?
talking about black people as a whole.
That is very tricky question. It's very nuanced because you got black Indians, you got black, you got different types of black people who live in different types of community that grow up with different types of races. We not gladly we're in a time where we could all live together. Now, if we was in the 1960s, I would say,
Please don't take us back in time. I'm talking
okay,
about black people today, wherever they live, wherever
uh,
they are. I'm talking about the descendants of Africans, black people, and then I'm talking about white people, the descendants of Europeans or people from the Caucasus Mountains, people that the United States and other nations in the West have identified as white. So I'm talking about black and white people. Is it ethical? And we understand that race, the construct of race, was created to harm people, right?
yeah, we do understand that.
Okay,
I was
so
trying to get
so
to that part.
because harm is the default whenever we're talking about race, because that's what it was built on, then ethics would relate to avoiding doing harm. So how does it avoid doing
Well,
harm
that's
to
kind of a
black
trick.
people?
That's kind of it's like a question inside of a question because if you're basing the question on something that's already unethical because it's doing harm to what we will call us as black today, then the question already in itself is already null and void because you're using black and white, which was already used to harm us. So we basing ourselves kind of at a backwards point already.
It's
That's
not
kind of where my
backwards.
brain
The
is
answer
already
the
at.
answer to the question is no. But it's not backwards. It's just easier to answer that way. Like if I were to ask, is it ethical for me to throw knives at people?
True. I get you because you could do what you want, but like you shouldn't do that unless you have a reason to. And
Okay.
we aren't the people who had the reason to create race. We just got caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the way your brain works, man. Do you you know what? I'm not gonna hijack your panel. I'm gonna just follow you, and maybe we'll have something else we can chop it up with about later.
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right. Have a good one.
All right. I thought that was gonna go left, but it didn't. Yo, when the brothers come up, I hold my breath. When the brothers come up, I hold my breath. I know a lot of y'all looked up to Michael Jordan. You see who he's married to right here. I know a lot of y'all wanted to be like Mike. You know what I'm saying? Mike want the milk. So when y'all come up here, I'm holding my breath. I don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. Some of it is cream filled. Uh, Next guest looks like he's having a hard time. Thank y'all for tapping like and getting us above 10K, y'all. We got to get to 25. We're a little bit behind today. I came up late. Tap like. Let the algorithm know that you're getting some value from the live.
Tap like,
Oh
let the
man.
algorithm know that you're
Oh man. Yeah, he had to go. That echo was crazy. If you want to come back up, you can, but not with that echo. Char B, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm 29, male, and he, him.
Your race.
White, sorry.
Talk to us.
Caucasian. Yeah, I just think people should be able to do whatever they want to do, whoever they want to date.
Spoken like a true colonizer. Do you believe people can
All right,
live
man.
wherever they want to live? You can have whatever you want?
Have a good day, man.
I believe we people should be able to take and do whatever they want to do with anybody that they want to do it with. Like, okay, colonizer. All right, say it with your chest. Don't run away. Say it with your chest. Of course you believe that. We know you believe that. That's why we're here in the first place. Of course. Anybody else want to come up? Feel free to come on up. If you begin to embarrass yourself, I'm going to remove you from the panel because This live is meant to be productive and constructive. This live is meant to be educational. This live is supposed to induce critical thinking. So I really don't want to argue. I don't like to argue. But if there's a moment where I can educate people that are listening, then I'm going to do that. I think it's Najia. Give us your
Yes,
age, race, and pronouns.
yes. I am 28, African American female, or whatever is considered of me African American. Quite frankly, I don't care about interracial relationships. I find that people need to love who they love and loves them back. Love themselves first, and they get love back.
If you don't care, why are you up here?
Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I personally wouldn't, you know, interracially date, but what other people do is their business, is what I really am saying.
Yeah, but no one's here to tell anyone what to do. We're talking about ethics.
Oh, okay, ethics. In that case, I don't think it's ethical.
Okay. Want to tell us why? Or what brought you to that conclusion?
For In that case, I don't think it's ethical because I feel like at some point we'll all be like washed out, washed away. Our blackness would be gone after however many generations.
Why do you think that's a concern?
I think that's a concern. Like I said, like we could basically no longer exist after maybe 5 generations.
Do you know how many white people there are on this planet?
I don't.
Do you know how many do you know how many black people there are on this planet?
I don't, and I'll admit that too.
Okay. Are you familiar with what's happening with the birth rate in Europe right now?
I'm not. I only know about basically the birth rate in the US.
Okay. Do you know about the birth rate of white people in the US?
I know that is kind of on the decline.
It's in the negative, actually.
Yeah.
More white people unalive each year than white people are born. Do you know the birth rate of people in Africa?
I do not.
Their birth rate is up so high that the average African is 20 years old.
Wow.
So
Hey.
we're in the middle of a black baby boom, and we also take up a majority of the planet more than white people do.
Well, I mean, I understand the global majority part, because also on a global scale, people of color, in general, take up the global majority. But I wasn't too familiar about the birth rates of Europe and Africa. I'll admit that. And sorry, everyone, don't mean to make a fool of myself, and you can make fun of me later.
All right. I'm going to go to the next guest. Thanks for coming up.
Yes.
All right. To avoid coming up, I just want to, like, people that want to come up here, I just want to warn you that this is not your average TikTok live. The topics I'm speaking on, I'm well versed in, very knowledgeable in, and I'm actually not a TikToker. I'm the founder of a nonprofit, B1 Initiative. The link is in my bio. We actually do the work behind what we talk about on this live. And if you come up, please come with receipts or some sort of knowledge. Don't come up and maybe, embarrass yourself. We're not here to do that to anybody. So if you're going to come up here with feelings, then I would just say maybe don't even come up. Hi, today's give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hello. I am Black, African American, 36, and female.
All right, talk to us.
So, your question proposes a question in my mind. It seems as if you're stating that interracial marriages between Black people and white people are unethical. Am I understanding that correctly?
A lot of people come up here and say that, but the purpose of this live is to get people to think critically about something most of us don't even give thought to. We just accept and move on.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you want my take, I would say give us your take first, and then we can discuss that. I don't come up here to
I understand.
preach. I come up here more to show people a logical framework of looking at race and the 8th area of people activity called love.
Totally understand. I just kind of wanted to get a clearer perspective before I went on the question it proposed for me.
Okay, so interracial, we know the root word of interracial is race.
Mm-hmm.
We know race is not God-made, so it was man-made, and it was made by certain men for a certain purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We know marriage, it's not strictly about love. When two people divorce, they don't split the love between the man and the woman. They split the money. So understand that marriage is an institution all on its own, not just a feeling of love. I say that as a married man.
Mm-hmm.
Then Black and white, again, we're talking about race. We're talking about the power dynamic in race where white people in the caste system of race are privileged and Black people are inherently oppressed by that privilege. And then we're talking about ethics, relating to moral principles of dealing with avoiding activities that do harm to people. That's the shortened version of the definition I have behind me. But basically, moral principles about right and wrong, dealing with avoiding activities that do harm to people.
Okay. So when you put that word ethical in there, it automatically makes the question to whether it's a right or a wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But it also brings it to doing harm or not doing harm.
Okay. That
So
brings me to my next question.
anyone that would say doing harm is right would get some side eye on this live. But if you want to
okay,
take that.
That brings me to my next question. Doing harm or not doing harm?
Avoiding
What
doing harm
happens
specifically,
when-
because
what-
I just want to
what-
correct you real quick. Not
Mhm.
correct you, but just iron out this before you go deeper. Avoiding doing harm means that we're already in a harmful environment. For example, it would be ethical to recycle because that avoids doing harm to the environment, which is also part of the definition of ethics. So the reason we would have to recycle and avoid doing harm is because not recycling happens so frequently that it is more ethical and to avoid causing further harm by recycling. So race has created an environment of hostility and injustice to the point where it's now the default to do harm to Black people. So when we're talking about avoiding doing harm, that has to be an intentional act.
Okay. I appreciate you clearing that up for me. Here's my proposed question. If interracial marriage between the black race and the white race is so in question ethically. What happens when two people get married? 9 times out of 10, a child is born. So, me being a biracial child and coming from an interracial marriage, I am black. Yes, I am black, but my mother is white. So, how does that iron out? Are interracial people now questioned ethically as well?
No such thing as interracial people, but that is a good a question. I'll answer it. So, if a woman is SA'd by a man and then a child is born, do you blame the child for the conditions by which it was brought into the world?
That's literally what I'm asking.
Well,
Am I? So I'm ethically wrong.
I'm asking
because
you
my
a different
parents
question though.
had me?
For the most part, do you think people would blame that child for the actions of a man?
No, there's women who
Right,
have
exactly.
children
Most people
all
wouldn't.
over the world from horrible situations, and that child is
Exactly.
not blamed for that situation.
Exactly.
But
And that's why we wouldn't blame biracial people for not being able
okay,
to choose how they came into the world. The
now
onus
here
falls on the
furthers my
people.
question.
The onus falls on the people that understood we're in a hostile environment and still chose to do that act.
So my parents' marriage is technically unethical? That's
That's a question for you to. That's a question for you to ask yourself. I'm not gonna.
Here goes that further question of the child who's born biracial. Then they grow up and they marry into the world. My husband is an African American, but I dated many in the race pool before that. So how do you justify that? So yes, because I'm black, I have to marry black. I'm just saying you can't put a color. You can't put a label
You're
on who
conflating a
somebody
few
loves.
different things that's not being talked about on this live. First of all, you're saying that you have to marry black. No one said you have to do anything.
Okay.
So we're not up here saying anyone has to be ethical. They can do whatever they want to do, as long as
but
it's within the
ethically,
confines
if
of the
we're
law.
speaking ethically, how would that
Ethically,
be?
it is legal to smoke cigarettes. I mean, not ethically. It's not ethical because it does harm to people, causes cancer. However, it's legal. So you can't say someone can't smoke because it's unethical. You know, even to smoke in front of people is legal. You know, they didn't choose to smoke, but secondhand smoke could lead to cancer. So at the end of the day, that person can do whatever they want to do. But when we talk about ethics and avoiding doing harm to people, then it's going to be unethical.
Okay. Well, you're free to have your opinion. I'm free to have mine. That's the great
Mine
way
is an
of
opinion
America.
based on research. What research are you presenting to us? Because you've done nothing but ask questions and be
Yes,
condescending.
because
frankly.
condescending, no. Asking questions, yes. Intrigued, yes. Condescending, no. My question is because as someone who is from an interracial marriage, you can't say
But
someone's
see how
marriage
you
is
identify with
unethical.
an interracial marriage? You just said you were a black woman. You
Okay,
black.
so
So why are you
I can't
making your
acknowledge that my
identify?
mother's white?
Excuse
Yes, I
me?
am a black woman, and my parents are interracially married. They are
Okay.
married interracially.
All right.
I
And
come from an interracial
so if I
marriage,
say
so
that,
yes.
so what does that have to do with you though? That like, why do you keep bringing up the child in this? That's what I'm
Okay,
confused
so
about. Like,
the marriage
like
is
clearly just gave
unethical,
you an
but the
example.
product of the marriage is not
Yeah.
up for question.
What?
You're stating the marriage is unethical, correct? Or it's not ethically seen, correct? It's not viewed ethical. So the product of the marriage
No, you're saying the product of the marriage. I don't got nothing up here about no products of no marriage and no children and no babies. You keep bringing that up to try to come up with a straw man. And I keep telling you, this ain't about the children. You're trying to defend your mom and dad through you. And that's your personal thing. You got to figure that out for yourself. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about, does your mom give a damn about the black community? Does your mom go to her people and dismantle racism? What work has your mom done in the community? Please let me know. Because it sounds like your mom is okay with what's going on in her husband's community, but because she picked her one, she loves him. That don't mean she loved black people.
Wow.
If I was walking behind you, if I got into an elevator with your mother, she wouldn't grab her purse. If I was walking behind her in the middle of the
Are
night
you
with a hoodie on,
serious
you
right
telling me
now?
she would look at me the same loving way that she look at her husband?
Wow. Okay. Well, sir, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Good night.
She triggered. Hey man, she triggered. It's all right though. It's all right. Just because you picked you a slave does not mean that you care about the liberation of their people. And that's just the cold hard facts. Some of us going to have to deal with it. Some of us just going to have to deal with it. All right, I'm going to go to the next guest. Having a profile picture helps me bring you up faster. Some of y'all got like cartoons and stuff in your pictures. Y'all look like trolls to me, so I'm going to pick the person with the photo first. Brittany, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hi, how are you today? I'm 34. I'm also biracial, she, her.
All right. Do not come up here if you don't know your race. Don't come up here if you think you're biracial. Biracial is a description, not a race in itself. I am not the same race as Taylor Swift because we are monoracial. Hey, Brother Legend, what race are you? I'm monoracial. How does that sound? Sounds ridiculous. I didn't tell you anything. I just said I'm monoracial. So that doesn't make any sense. If you don't know what race you are, don't come up on a live that's dealing and talking about race. Don't forget to keep tapping like, y'all. Let's get to 25K. I appreciate y'all tapping like, sending gifts, sharing the live with brothers and sisters. If your lips are thicker than a Snicker, you know what I'm saying? You put marshmallows on your yams. I need you to share the live with a brother or sister. Someone said I speak bilingual. Yo, that's a good one. Nah, shout out to hold on. Shout out to Sadie or Sadi. That is a good one. I speak bilingual. That is hilarious. I'm actually going to use that one now. So thank you for contributing to the space by writing that comment. That was good. I speak bilingual. That's hilarious. All right, Cyberworld, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
30, male, white.
All right. And go ahead, talk to us.
Do you believe that all people are born equal?
I don't answer questions. I ask them, do you believe all people are born equal?
You didn't answer a question. Sorry, ask your question.
Do you believe people are born equal?
Yes.
Okay. And you believe all people are treated equal as well?
No, I wouldn't say that. Of course not. Everyone has an experience.
So then when does the inequality begin? Because you said they were born equal, yet you say that they're not treated as equal. So if everyone's born with equality, when does the equality fade away?
Well, I'm asking about a personal belief, not the world's personal belief, because obviously there's people.
I'm only talking about the world. I don't deal in anecdotes. So we're talking about systems, global systems. We're talking about societies, social constructs. So
got you. So because in your eyes, society doesn't see everyone as equals, people who aren't equals in your eyes can't date. Is that follow the chain of logic?
I don't understand the question, but again, I don't answer questions. Why don't you tell us what you think?
Well, I'm trying to understand how you could imagine it not as unethical.
Okay. Well,
And you don't
maybe
answer
if you,
questions, so I guess we're kind of at a standstill there, right?
yeah, I mean, tell us what you think about the topic. That's why it's there. I know what I think.
Well, I think it's a ridiculous statement. Well, I mean, why? In what world is it unethical for people to make their own decisions on who they marry? How is someone making decisions for themselves unethical?
Do you believe Black Americans made the decision to come to America?
No.
Who made that decision for them?
Our parents are people conceived today, or would they choose to stay in this country they were born into?
Do they?
Some people do, and some people leave.
So you're saying they choose to stay. So
Some people.
So if I sit on my couch, I'm just sitting on my couch and let's say someone put me in a room, right? And they didn't make sure to give me access or correct their action of putting me in a room. But me getting out of that room would require energy, right? It would require power. It will require a safe place to even go to after I leave the room. But the person that put me in this room didn't make sure to return me, right? So, or make it easy for me to return. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to talk about justice and justice rather, is the guarantee that harm will not be done, and those that have received the most harm receive the most help. So if we know that Black Americans coming to America was an act of injustice, do you agree on that?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So then an act of justice would be making it easy for them to return to a land that is not colonized, because colonization in Africa was also injustice, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so they would have to return. They would have to. They would have to then. Those that are responsible for the injustice would then be responsible for the justice. So it's interesting when we put the onus on the victims to correct the mistake another group of people have made.
No,
and
I
say
agree.
that
There
it's
should be
their
more options
choice.
for people to return or to exit the country. I mean, I'm not debating that we shouldn't have more options for that.
When they return and exit the country, who do they pay taxes to? Is it the same people that took them out the country in the first place?
Yeah, when you leave this country, you still have to pay taxes. I'm not arguing.
You do.
Defending
No, I'm not
tax
saying you're
system.
arguing. I'm just trying to get you to think a little harder. I'm asking you
No,
questions. That's what we're up here to do.
If I could leave this country without having to pay double taxes, I would have already done that a long time ago.
Okay, so they leave the country. They still got to pay taxes to the people that took them out of the country in the first place. And they have to pay for their flight. They have to upend their life where they've been for 400 years. So they have relatives all over the place. I guess they'll never see their family again because their family is not all going to agree to go to another place. And then when they get to this other place where they were taken from, not only do they have to pay taxes, pay to move there, but also when they get there, the same people that brought them to America own the land, the corporations, and the government in Africa. So is that your idea of justice?
Never said it was. Never claimed that.
I wasn't saying you said it was. I'm asking. You could have said no.
I said that's not. No, I would not call that the sense of justice. Obviously not. Who would, right?
Some people would. You'd be surprised. Let's not act like the Klan don't exist.
True. But see, I'm still not saying like now. Let's say somebody has complete financial freedom, right? In the hypothetical scenario, both people have the same amount of financial freedom in this hypothetical scenario. Then is it ethical in your view for those people to have an interracial marriage?
Do you believe the construct of race is a just system?
Do I believe that the
Do you
concept
believe
of
that there's
race is a
equality?
justice system?
Do you believe all races have equality?
That all? Do I believe that all they should have equality, or that the world has it currently?
I am never going to ask you what the world should have. I'm going to only speak in terms of where we are today. So I don't want to take into a hypothetical realm. Let's stay in reality.
Well, I understand. I'm just trying to understand where your issues with it come ethically, right? Because if we added you, because you're talking about inequality, I'm talking in a hypothetical world. If there's not financial equality, so like they have the ability to move wherever they want. This marriage, the marriage and people in the marriage both have the freedom to independently financially go wherever they want, and live wherever they want. Then you're okay with it, or is it still? I'm just trying to understand your worldview better.
And I'm not here to teach you that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We can go on. I mean, it's kind of hard to have a debate in this subject without understanding the other person's worldview, right? Because then where are you going to find common ground?
It is because white people come up here and ask me more questions on my live than I'm asking them, and I don't understand why y'all do it.
I can never have your perspective, so of course I'm going to have you asking questions.
Why do you want to know my perspective so much?
Because you're the one hosting this debate, and it's your
I
ethical...
want to know your perspective. The reason for this, it's not a debate, first of all.
Mine. I gave you mine already. I think people should have the freedom to date and marry whoever they want to.
And I asked you to qualify that. Why should people have the? Why should people be able to
have the freedom to date who they want? Because freedom.
Okay.
Why
so
shouldn't they
freedom.
have that freedom?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So people should have the freedom to date whoever they want and marry whoever they want. We're not talking about dating, by the way. We're talking about marriage. So
I mean,
that being the case,
the other, right?
That being the case,
if you have, so you're okay with dating, or just marriage specifically, you have an issue with?
He gonna keep asking questions, y'all. He not trying to listen. All right, let's go to the next guest. I'm not here to train y'all on how to infiltrate black spaces. If y'all got all them questions, then y'all need to just stay down there and listen. We not here to answer your questions. We're here to learn from you white people. We want to know what y'all talk about when we're not in the room. All right, bring the next guest. Alexandria, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 36, white, and she, her.
All right, talk to us.
I believe that interracial marriage is between anybody is ethical. Any marriage between any two consenting adults is ethical.
Okay. And so, what if the environment of the consenting adults is unethical?
I guess I need more clarification on what.
If I took a woman from her house where she's watching TV with her family, I kidnapped her, I tied her up, I tied her to the shower head in my bathroom, and I only fed her enough to keep her alive, gave her enough water just to stay alive in a little doggy bowl, and, didn't treat her and let her even use the toilet, just let her, do her business on herself, and didn't improve any of that, situation that I put her in. But then one day decided, hey, woman I took from her house, I love you. And she said, I love you back, and I consent to this love. Would you say that's ethical?
Where are you going with this? Because it sounds like apples and oranges comparison.
No,
Please don't come off mute, Eduardo, or I'm going to have to drop you. She said no. Go ahead.
It would not be ethical because it's coercion. I mean, any more than, the witch
It's coercion. It's coercion. Wow. That was profound. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that took a lot of truth from you to say that. Okay. So, do you believe black people were brought to this country ethically?
No.
Okay. So there's the kidnapping metaphor. Okay. Do you believe black people have had the same level of access to resources to feed their families in this country as the average white American?
No.
Okay, so there goes the only giving them enough food to stay alive. Okay, okay. Do you believe that black people, do you believe that white people are incarcerated at the same ratio, percentage-wise, as black people? Do you believe that they're as heavily policed?
No. White people commit more crimes statistically, and black people are punished for them much harsher and at a higher rate than white people are.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like we are still in chains in the bathroom. Okay, so these conditions exist in our community. We've also been conditioned to look at whiteness as the epitome of beauty, right? We've been taught, Jesus was white. We've been even taught to look at white people as God. Then, on the back of all of this exploitation and violence, how can we say that a black person can consent in an environment of hostility to people that don't suffer from the same oppression? Is it consent or is it self-preservation?
That's a good question. Well, I guess it's because of the fact of marriage. No one, at least these days, has to get married. It's very much a voluntary thing, as long as no one's being forced into.
If someone put you in a bathroom, tied you up for a few days, you wouldn't have to consent to say I love you back. But would it improve your condition if your kidnapper loved you? Maybe they would loosen your cuffs. Maybe they would give you a little extra food. They're definitely not going to free you and give you the same amount of power and control that they have. But maybe just in being proximity to that captor, you'd be able to, enjoy life a little bit more.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I've definitely seen that happen before. But I don't know how many people really think of that as a motivation for wanting to be with or marry a white person. You know what I mean?
And I understand why you wouldn't know that. All right. Anything else?
I don't know. I'm enjoying, talking about this and seeing things from a different perspective. And I'm just gonna say where I'm coming from, and maybe that'll help. So, and I appreciate your perspective and, thinking about things this way too. I married a black man. Neither one of us had to get married. We decided that we wanted to get married. We had a life together for 10 years and that was that. I mean, we had a child together. Yeah, and I mean, at no point, he's the one who left, that was his decision. We just had different, desires at that point. Actually, he's on better terms with my family than I am.
You made sure to keep the connection with your family.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. He's smart. Yeah.
All right. Well, wait, hold on. My co-host might want to say something. Smart sister, what's going on, auntie?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. Did you want to say something?
I just popped in. I don't know what she just said.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I was
I'll
just
wait.
checking. All right. Yeah, so uh yeah, sounds like that's very personal. I'm not sure why you're bringing that up. I don't want to like insinuate anything or assume.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's just the reason that your question kind of struck me. Like, it's never really, I've never really considered if it would be ethical or not.
If he didn't, listen, I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna ask this question. If the environment that your husband lives in, because of global racism, white supremacy, is hostile towards him, and he is then incentivized to have a proximity to white people because he might have more access to things, even if it's just social currency. Like, you don't even have to have money, but just social currency. A white mother to show up at school for his black children instead of a black mother, where they might call child protective services. You know, a white mother to show up at the doctor when he's sick instead of a black woman who they don't believe when she says that yeah, my husband needs medication. If that environment was part of the reason why he was incentivized to marry you in the first place, like, if that were true, how would you feel about that?
Putting it together, I mean, that really makes a lot of sense. There are plenty of times that us being together, helped make things smoother than they would have been if he were on his own. Like, I've definitely seen that. I mean, then that's just part of it. If, being with the person I love who loves me makes his life easier, then I'm all for it.
So, in my scenario, I said that the woman was tied up in the bathroom and it would make her life easier if she told me she loved me back. So you would say you'd be all for it in this hostile environment where it would be a matter of self-preservation, survival for my captured woman to say she loves me back. You'd be okay with that?
I don't exactly see them as the same issue, but if that's what she needs to do to survive, then yes.
And so we would rather tell people that are oppressed to marry white because it's better for your survival than for white people to dismantle racism, create justice, and free us from our chains.
Oh no, I
Like, that's the
definitely,
easier route. It's just accept the environment as it is and love one of us, and you'll be okay.
No, I definitely don't think that that is the answer. I think that doing what we can on a small scale, and when we can on a bigger scale in our everyday lives and outside, that is society. The way things are done is what needs to change. And I would not fault anyone for doing whatever they needed to do within the current environment to make their life better.
So, again, you'd rather talk about surviving the current environment than creating the change necessary to end the hostility.
I think we need to do both. Creating change is something we can take steps in every day, but it does still take some time to see and survival is something that we have to deal with every single day.
Why is that?
Well, I guess it just depends on everybody's factors. Everyone has
Everybody?
different. Yeah.
Do you
I
believe
mean,
you're oppressed
no, I think I'm
systematically?
okay. No, not systematically. Not really. I'm a woman, whatever.
Do you think you're oppressed because you're a woman?
I mean, there is some oppression, but not nearly to the extent of anyone who's not white.
Who do you think has more privilege, a black man or a white woman?
A white woman.
So you know that there's a power dynamic between you and your ex-husband.
Yeah, unfortunately, when there were people around us, when it was just the two of us, no, but if we're out in public, then absolutely, unfortunately.
Okay. So that being the case, because you weren't two lovers on an island, you understood the power dynamic. Would you say that it's ethical for a psychologist to have a relationship with a client?
No.
Would you say it's ethical for a teacher to have a relationship with a student?
No.
What if a child consents to having a relationship with an adult?
No.
Do you know what all three of those have in common?
There's someone who doesn't have control over their situation and someone who is specifically controlling them.
Someone that has the ability to take advantage.
True.
Okay.
I mean, in our personal relationship, just the dynamics between the two of us, I never, tried to control him. If anything, it's when we were in public, in some ways it made him safer. I can't even tell you how many times, he would get pulled over for, we lived in a small town for part of our marriage, and the cops were ridiculous there, pull people over for everything. And, he'd get pulled over and call me to be on speakerphone. So, I would be able to hear if anything happened. Like, obviously, I don't know what it is like to not be white, but we had discussions and I saw what it was like for 10 years. So as aware as a white person can be of the oppression that you face every single day.
Smart sis, did you have anything to say now?
Lord. Like you said, in your own little world, little Gilligan's Island, yeah, y'all can be cool or whatever. But time you step foot out that house is a whole nother story. And then even hell in the house, you still have the ability to get him unalive. So, to each his own, do you, but you see how things go. And it just is what it is. And for all this love is love stuff, you already know that's not true. Or
Okay.
do you? I don't know. You said your husband, he left, you said?
Yeah, he did.
You have kids?
We have one, yes.
A girl or a boy?
A girl.
Okay. Do you think you can teach her what it is to be a black woman?
Not at all. I do my best with, trying to make sure, because she looks white. She has like a lot of her dad's features, but she's got blue eyes, which I don't even have, and brown straight hair and light skin. Yeah, but from the beginning, I do what I can with, I make sure that she has, baby dolls of all colors and, books and exposure and talking to her dad about, as she's only
Of all
6.
colors, you make sure she has white baby dolls too?
Yeah, I do. I
All
mean,
right.
what more can I really do, except just try to tell her that, she has more in her, in her culture than just
She
what she
has
looks
more
like.
than.
Them being white.
Yeah, because she looks white, but I mean, her dad is not.
Lord help with the poor baby.
That baby lost. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest, Alexandria. Thanks for coming up. Y'all ain't want them Panther paws today, so we was just gonna ask questions. Eduardo, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
30, white or native, fuck if I know. And pronouns he, him.
All right, talk to us.
Sounds like you're just jealous and mad she had a healthy baby. But anyway,
Jealous.
it's not unethical for people to marry who they want.
Okay. Okay. It is unethical for black people, but of course people gonna marry who they want. That so what? People in hell want ice water.
You're gonna go tell a black person that their marriage is unethical?
Wait, what you say?
You're gonna go tell a black person their marriage is unethical? Or what?
It's unethical in the sense of trying to keep the black community together. I don't care because to me, clean the gene pool. Please go. If that's what you want, go.
It sounds racist.
It's nobody's saying what you can and cannot do.
Two
So
consenting adults.
what did you come up here for?
I don't know. To sound stupid, I'm gonna move on. All right,
And
let's go to the next.
jealous, they kill me with that shit that somebody is jealous of their
Right.
cornstarch crusader asses.
I called them the Crepe Crusaders.
Okay? I got that from a brother I heard the other day, cracked me up. Cornstarch crusaders. That's it. I mean, nobody cares about y'all. Please. Just go. Do you. Oh my God. And you have nothing that I am jealous of. No way, shape, form, nothing.
Yeah, we don't want that milk. That milk's horrible.
No. Buttermilk anyway.
All right. June Knight, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. June Knight. Going once. Going twice. June Knight. All right, we're moving on. Let's get a brother up here, man. Let's get a brother up here. Rashad, what's going on, family?
How you doing, man?
Peace, man. You sound far away, brother.
How it is?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. Yeah. That lady. She. Black people. I really want y'all to observe what's going on, man. She observed that hypothetical that he gave about the kidnapped woman and the kidnapper, right? She told us on this live that it is better for the kidnappee to just stick it out and say, I love you, right? Rather than the man freeing the woman. That should tell you everything you need to know about the people who get into these relationships. She does not care about nobody's situation except her own, right? And not even, it's just the ignorance. She didn't even catch it when she said it.
Nope.
It's that was disgusting. That was disgusting, right? And as far as, you know what I'm saying, a woman's predicament, that's disgusting. She didn't even, I mean, what's the rationale, right? The rationale is I own you and I have access to you whether you like it or not.
and deal with it.
Deal with it.
And
right?
this is a woman raising a black baby.
It's so sad. White people say cope rather than to just free you, right? They have had access to our bodies freely for hundreds of years. Unadulterated access, free. And and she said it herself. I've never thought of the thinking process as to where this would be unethical, right? And this is why we bring these questions up, because these are the people that are getting into these relationships. You would think that some of these YT people that are messing with these black people have enough gall to read a book or listen to a lecture or something.
They don't care.
But they don't.
As long as she can ride that eggplant, that's all.
That's all she care about, right?
You know, they don't care, and I really can't blame them. Like I said, in these situations, I'm more pissed at the black person because the white person is free. We're not. So that brother, or the person with some melanin in him, because it probably ain't a real brother, if he can't even teach his own daughter stuff, and I don't care how white passing she is, it's black white passing for black people. Okay, so to miss me with all that, still, you go to a Triple K meeting, they gonna know what you are. I bet you that. You know, so when you get through, what is she gonna think of herself? Her daddy confused. He's stupid and crazy. Okay, and then the mama, she gone. So, like I said, I Lord help that poor child.
Black people, protect yourselves, right? It's so important that we educate ourselves away from any system that you've been taught. And I'm just under the impression that once black people, try to get that education and try to get some type of knowledge towards this type of situation, then that will lead you to an ethical decision. In my opinion, that's just how I see it. The more knowledge, the more power. But you have to observe that even the people who get into relationships with black people are the most opposite thing from being anti-racist. The most opposite thing from being anti-racist. So what are these random white people who don't even talk to black people on? You can't even be anti-racist in a relationship with a black person. Then what are these random, white people doing?
We're humans. That's all. What are you saying?
It's disgusting. The response to the hypothetical was so disgusting. That's just what I wanted to point out. Y'all have to observe these things. Rather than just free the woman should just cope.
Right.
That's I land there.
That's enough said. I heard that. All right, y'all. Don't forget to keep tapping like. We're trying to get to 50K likes, so keep tapping like. We're going to continue the conversation, share the live with a brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? We want to be on the right algorithm. Iggy, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
36. I ain't got no pronouns, so I don't even know what pronouns are. I'm male.
What's your race?
I don't have any.
Don't be obtuse. If Iggy goes to the store, is Iggy a he? Went to the store. She went to the store.
I am a he.
All right, now give us your race.
Race, I'm kind of like mixed with a bunch of shit. So, and I get my background, but I grew up in Norwood, California, which was the hood, and I've been kind of listening to
all that. We just want to know your race, man.
Yeah, I know. My race is Romanian mixed. Well, yeah. It's probably
white. What's a
little bit darker whites than usual, because I got
white.
Black. No, I'm
that's
white.
Why you're going into all this.
Cool. My whole thing is this. So, where did you guys grow up? Like, if it's okay for me
you gonna answer the question? Who cares where we grew up?
Because I grew up in California, we didn't have
I'm
this
in
white.
California right now. So,
Listen,
and
listen, we didn't have no white, black, Chinese, Japanese,
oh, you
Russian,
got to be kidding.
Samoan. I don't know if you guys know. We grew up as children together. So what I'm gonna say is this: I do believe that the black race is the beginning. I don't believe you guys came from Africa. I believe you guys were the actual natives of Americas.
The pretendian, a white pretendian. This got to be good.
They were called the Tamaricans back in the day. But hey, listen, I always wondered about this because I went through the same struggles you guys went through, right? Because people are like, "Do you have an advantage? Do you not?" Today, I'm a very successful guy because I took myself out of victimhood. I quit blaming the white man. I've been in prison. Don't get me wrong, because of the way I grew up. I was taught,
What? Lord have mercy.
Hey, I was taught things that
I don't feel like it. I don't even feel like it.
A white pretendian, a what tendian?
This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. That whole pretendian side of TikTok is white supremacists convincing black people to have an allegiance to their plantation instead of an allegiance to the land that white supremacy has continued to exploit. The land that white supremacy took you from, instead, they would rather you have an allegiance to the plantation they brought you to. So he just showed it right there. They're a lot more comfortable with us saying that we're from America than to say that we're from the land that they need to continue to exploit in order to have privilege. TZ, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
35, white, pronoun. I identify as a daddy long leg.
That's not a pronoun.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
No, I'm just kidding. He, him.
All right, talk to us.
All right. So interracial marriages between blacks and whites people is unethical. Is ethical? No. I think that for the most part, races stick to their own race. And the reason why I believe that is culture preservation.
So race
Y'all
and
don't
culture.
have any, but
You believe
We don't
race
have a
and
culture.
You believe
What's
race and
that?
culture is the same thing?
Race and culture is the same thing? No.
Okay, so why is it cultural
Race is
preservation?
ethnicity and culture is your environment.
Race is an ethnicity?
I mean, a race? Like, what is your race?
What is the
Either
difference
white,
between
black.
race and ethnicity?
What do you think it means?
I'm asking you. You're the one that said what you said. Do you not know the difference between race and ethnicity?
What is it?
If you don't know, then you shouldn't have said what you said. You said that race was based on culture or something like that. I'm just trying to... you said race is an ethnicity. So what is
No, I
the
said
difference?
race is your, like, what... Are you white, black, Hispanic,
Hispanic isn't a race.
Mexican?
Y'all came up with the shit. It's 5 races, according to you people. Okay? So if that is the case, trust me, we don't want to mix with you. You damn right we need to stay separate because your race is dying out. So you're right. We should stay
It's going to be
separated.
a long time before that happens.
No, it's not. I guess you don't pay
A
attention.
long time.
United States by 2030 is going to be a majority so-called people of color. It ain't going to be no long time because it ain't that many of y'all on the planet. So, honey, the sun is
there is.
coming for you, boo. So, no, it's not going to be no long time. And who cares? Like you said, stay separate. Y'all stay to yourself. We stay to ourselves. Who you think gonna be here the longest? It's not gonna be you. So you're right. We should definitely stay separated. How about that?
100%.
Well, good. I agree.
100%. I'm agreeing. I've been watching.
I
I've been watching
totally
this channel.
agree.
I agree with you 100%.
Well, good. But you crazy if you think you're gonna
believe
be here that
you know,
long. What?
Why? How long you? Yeah. Fuck.
Y'all new on the
If
planet
if
anyway. You're not haven't even been here that long. About 6,000 years or so. So you still new to the game. And you ain't gonna be here much longer. So that's okay.
so, how did white people come to be?
Ooh, child.
No, I'm asking you. You said
That
we only
is
been here
that.
for so long. Tell me.
You're recessive. So yeah, if you look at lack of melanin, because I'm not even gonna say y'all came from us, because Neanderthals, y'all kind of on a whole another branch of humanity anyway.
I
So
agree.
you know, y'all stay to yourself. I wish you would, and leave everybody else the hell alone.
They're not gonna say to themselves.
Huh?
They're not gonna. No, you're right, but they're not gonna say to themselves. They can't.
Nope, can't do it. You couldn't even stay off of the coming up on this live.
Hey, I had to call. Hey, I had to colonize the live.
Oh, yeah, you do everywhere, everything else, but you ain't colonized shit here. You just showed up. You ain't running nothing here, boo. You know,
Hey, I'm just trolling. Like, hey, I'm just trolling. Hey,
I
I'm just
know.
trolling.
We know. Nothing
He's
new
telling the
there.
truth. He ain't trolling. All right,
I'm
we're gonna
trolling
move
like a
on.
motherfucker.
TZ, you don't have much to
To add.
contribute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have a good night.
Bye.
They think they so intelligent. You know,
No,
too.
don't they? Lord help them.
Telly, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Race, of course, black, proud to be above 18. And of course, I'm a proud male, very one. So this is a very, very important topic. I admire, what you're doing, and I appreciate it, brother. I must be, expressed that way. Me personally, I must say, I love myself, and so I couldn't find myself date even a white woman. I can't find myself date. I've like 50 plus, and I've never dated a white woman, much less to go ahead and marry to a white man. To me, it's an insult when I see a brother or a sister being with, it's just beyond me. I don't know how they do it, but I have to say, survival is the first concept of life, and I have to be fair. If a person choose to go into my interracial to say survival, by all means, I agree, because I mean survival. But if it's like just for looking for love or just to be with somebody, when I saw a brother or a sister being with, outside of his race, I said, one, based upon the fact that our ancestors was being unalive, or the atrocity I've committed against our ancestors, and me to go and lay down with a white woman, I betray my ancestors. I would be betraying my ancestors, so I don't do it. And I would never do it. Never. And my kids, I would never allow my kids to go that route. I would do everything to discourage them. Because me, I have to preserve me, and I have to preserve my race. Because as I said, I'm one person that will never, ever, ever, entertain not even an ounce of self-hate. I love my own. I love my race. I love my people. And that's why the reason why I'm leaving America and I'm going to Africa for good. Understand?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah. So continue to do what you do, bro. I appreciate. I admire you. Your work, and I'm here, 100%.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate it.
brother. All right.
Yeah.
Big up to all the Africans, the Afro Caribbeans, the Afro Brazilians, Afro Latinos. Big up to all the African brothers and sisters on the continent. Free Haiti, free Sudan, free Congo, free us worldwide. Thank y'all for tapping like. And we're going to go to the next guest. Amina, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Black, he, she, and I'm 30 years old.
All right, talk to us.
I don't believe that interracial marriage is unethical at this day and age. I mean,
Was it ethical during slavery?
I think during slavery, it was everything that almost happened was not consensual, so it wouldn't be ethical.
Okay.
And I don't think it was something that was happening at that time. I don't
was.
think that. So you're telling me the masters were marrying their slaves or raping?
Both, but not legally. But there were instances where they would marry. There was even a black woman that inherited a plantation because her slave owner / husband died, and she inherited the plantation.
That's not a story I've ever heard of, so that's, I guess, interesting information to learn.
Would you say that because she was married to him that it was ethical?
I honestly, I would really like to read about that before that's even a question I could answer, because that's.
What about Sally Hemings and President Jefferson? He loved her, and they say she loved him, and she bore him all these children. How about that?
She was raped to begin with.
We know that, but let the story
Well, there
be
would be
told.
nothing
They
ethical
fell
about
in
that.
love.
Right, so there would be nothing ethical about that. I was just looking at it from the perspective of today, and then on top of that, thinking of the Loving versus
Okay.
Virginia,
Loving versus Virginia. Would you say that was ethical?
Wasn't it black men that mostly fought for that?
A white
No,
man.
it was a white man.
It was a white man, okay.
It's a white man and a black woman. The black woman was 11 years old when she met the white man. He was 17. She had more wealth in her family than he did. He actually worked for her family. And they started their relationship when she was 11.
Okay.
Once they were old enough to marry, he wanted access to that wealth, and he fought to marry her.
So it wasn't a love story.
No, that doesn't sound like it was a love story, but I guess I'm just having a hard time trying to understand what would be unethical about it at this time and age and what the conversation is here.
What difference does the time make? Sonia Massey got pew-pewed in the face 3 times.
Right. What does that have to do
So
with
that's
marriage?
2024. Ooh.
Right. But Sonia Massey is not. We're not talking about marriage with Sonia Massey. That's a whole totally.
But
No, it's
if
not.
we're talking about something being ethical or not ethical, I would think if it's ethical, then things are much better, and racism has been dealt with, and there are no power dynamics in the relationship based on oppression. So.
In oppression, there's always a power dynamic. Otherwise, oppression wouldn't be a thing.
Do you believe black oppression is
Right.
over?
Do I believe oppression is over?
Do you believe black oppression is over?
Absolutely not. I'm a black woman. I
Do you
live.
believe that the beneficiaries of black oppression no longer receive privilege?
I do not believe that at all. I mean,
Okay.
so
So you believe that there's a power dynamic
absolutely in America versus whites and blacks,
in the world.
and in general in the world. I mean, I was originally born in Africa. I am from Kenya. I
Who named it Kenya?
Europeans. I know how my country is and continues or has and continues to be exploited, right?
Who controls? All right, so it's exploited. Okay.
Absolutely, my country
So,
is exploited, and this is something that we all know as Africans from our
so,
country. You know?
so if I light your house on fire, would it be ethical for me to say, it's better to live here anyway? Would that be the ethical thing to do?
No,
Or
it
just
wouldn't
have you
be.
move into my house? If I lit your house on fire,
No,
wouldn't it be the ethical thing for me to put out the fire in your house and repair your house? Because I'm the one that caused the damage?
okay. I'm just having a little hard time understanding where the conversation is supposed to go, because you guys are talking about marriage being ethical or not, and then once that question
I
is
don't see what's
answered,
so confusing. You a
then
black
you
woman,
are
you just admitted all of this other stuff. Now you're about to make me mad because you acting confused. So we're talking about oppression, and we're
right.
talking about
Okay.
an institution of marriage in our oppression that's still currently happening. And you're trying to figure out how it's not ethical for someone to be oppressed and in love with their oppressor at the same time. And I've given you an example of how a hostile environment would make something unbalanced as far as
Okay.
justice and equality, for us to pretend like that injustice
The
and
thing is,
inequality does not exist when we walk down an aisle is asinine. It's
I
backwards.
I am
It
not
doesn't go
pretending.
away just because you put a ring on a hockey's finger.
Right. I'm not pretending, but I am thinking, because most men here in America, most black men here, and I'm just going to leave that conversation alone. I am just thinking, are you trying to say that people in interracial marriages who marry, are you saying they're not truly consenting because of the oppression that they're facing?
Oh my God.
No.
If I
Yeah.
lit your house on fire,
Just
is it consensual that you decide to leave your house and come to mine?
no, it's not
It's
consensual.
not consensual because I created an environment where you wouldn't be able to survive in your own community.
Right. Okay, I understand that.
Okay. So do you understand what's going on in the black community? And do you understand who lit the match?
I understand the oppression that we as black people all face. I understand that.
And you
I
understand who
that.
does it?
Absolutely. I deal
Okay.
with it.
So where is the confusion? You're connecting all the dots, but you
Right.
still don't know what's going on. I'm confused about what your confusion is.
Okay, I guess maybe I should explain my confusion, because I'm still not I'm still not understanding, because I understand the racism, the oppression, because I myself face it. I live it. I'm in America. I'm a black woman. I live it. I've dealt with it.
Would you marry a white man?
Yeah, if he treated me right and there was love there, I would marry him, and that would be consensual, and I would not see anything
How can he
unethical.
treat you right if he's the one that lit the match on your community? How can he treat you right if he ain't going to make sure that his people stop harming your people first? Because you can't stand up to his people and change nothing. They've made sure of that. He has the power to do that. Yet he, with the power dynamic that was set in place by his people, can turn to you, someone he can take advantage of, and say, you know what? I love you. If a man is trapped in a fiery furnace, an environment that's hostile towards his survival and ability to continue to live, and he is burning up, is it okay for him to love the person? Is it ethical for him to love the person that turned the furnace on in the first place, that is outside of the furnace, able to walk around freely, and this person doesn't free them from that oppression, but instead just loves them through the fire that was started?
So I guess I just see it differently. I wouldn't see the one person that I am going to marry being the only person responsible to stop an
Who
oppression
said only?
and the race.
But they benefit from it though.
Of course, they benefit from it, but I
Well,
think
then why would you want to even be with them? See, that's why we messed up.
I mean,
We can totally set aside all of that makes us black.
okay.
And then, but I love you though, and I know you love me, and it's okay.
Amina,
Get the hell out
Yeah.
of here.
can I ask you a question?
Sure, you can ask me a question.
Do you love your ancestors?
Yes, I love my ancestors.
Do you think that your ancestor that goes through all those torture, all those pain, would feel pleased to see that you are in bed with one of those people that caused them all those pain and torture?
I mean, if you can, good for you.
See, okay, so has my continent been colonized? Yes. Do I think that the people in my country have experienced would be happy to see me in a marriage? If I'm just thinking about my family, my parents would not have a problem with that. I have dated a white guy that they've
She
met
said your
before.
ancestors.
My
Not
ancestors?
your
He's talking
parents.
about those that have passed on to the ancestral realm, those that were essayed by these people, those that were colonized by these people, those that were brainwashed by these people in order to be forced to love these people and look at them as love and look at themselves with self-hatred. You're telling me your ancestors would be pleased?
I don't think that they would. I don't really know how to answer that. I don't think that they would be pleased.
Yeah, because whenever we bring out something where we back her into a logical corner, she's gonna say she don't understand, and then
No, I
try to
didn't say I
squiggle her way
understand.
out of it. We're gonna move on. She's gonna keep saying, because whenever she gets caught, whenever we clock her, she's gonna keep saying, I don't understand, I just don't get it, and then bring up some other mess. We're gonna keep
Right.
moving. You've been proven wrong like 3 different ways.
To
We're gonna move on.
something.
All right, hello.
Opter, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
21. My race is all over the place, and my pronouns are whatever you want to call me.
If you don't know your race, don't come up here. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest.
Oh, just say white. Oh my God, bro.
Right, Miss Joy, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hi, brother. Black. I'm a Kenyan. I'm from Mumbi clan, and I'm a Gikuyu from Kenya.
All right,
So,
big up to Kikuyu brothers and sisters.
thank you, brother. So the reason I requested to come up initially was because of Amina when she was up here, because I know, brother, you advocate for Pan-Africanism, and that's why for most of us Kenyans or Africans, it's a bit problematic because of these people, you know. Amina is part of Kenya was colonized by the Arabs. That's the Mombasa, the coastal areas. And we have Nairobi, which was colonized by the British. So Kenya was colonized by 2 people, the Arabs first, and then the Whiteys. Yeah. And these people, the Arabs, the Amin and the likes, are the people who are dominating the coasts of Kenya. So sometimes when we speak of Pan-Africanism, and I'm not trying to change the topic, I just wanted to highlight that because of the way she was speaking, is because it brings them to the movement. And we don't want to really kumbaya with this kind of people who have dominated our country and they're still oppressing the people.
So she's not black?
She's mixed.
Hmm.
Yeah, they call them Swahili people. Even though Kiswahili, our language, is 80% Bantu, they claim it. So they say they speak a different Swahili from us. They try to come up with words and say, Swahili is Arabic, and we invented this.
So you're saying in the Kikuyu ethnicity, none of them are coons?
Say that again?
You're saying that none of the Kikuyu people are off code. You're saying that the Kikuyu people are the ones that are the true Pan-Africans.
No, not really. Not really. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the Kikuyu are part of the indigenous tribe, the Bantu, what we call the Bantu. And even though we really, I was a Pan-Africanist before, until I realized these people are actually hanging on to that movement, calling themselves Africans. And so what will happen, because they are already oppressing us now, and they are getting into the movement as...
This ain't the live for that. We're not doing that tribalism mess. There are traitors in every ethnicity of black people. There are people that have been taught self-hatred from their colonizer. We're not doing the tribalism thing that y'all got going on. It's like the Bloods and the Crips. Listen, at the end of the day, we're all Africans in oppression. So, because she was a traitor doesn't mean that all of her people are. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Rashad.
she sound like, to me, she sound like, I mean, if you don't tell me she can't, she sound like a regular black girl that's kind of, she doing that fence hopping thing. And then she wanna, oh my goodness, man, she just, I think she already had her little white team. And she was just trying to see what kind of wiggle room she had. But yeah, the tribalism is, we can't do the tribalism because, like you said, we have so much unpacking to do worldwide. Like, we cannot single out an individual group of people. We can't.
Yeah, we can't fall victim to that divisive tactic, that distracts us from moving towards Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is not a political party. Pan-Africanism is a political tool, but Pan-Africanism, in a more broad sense, is an objective. Pan-Africanism is a goal. Pan-Africanism is a unification of African people. That's all it is. When people tell me they were ex-Pan-Africans, that means that they have themselves decided it is not best to unify with black people. And whatever reason that is, it usually leads to anti-blackness. It usually leads to some version of either self-hatred, tribalism, some type of bias that they have for other black people. And so, that being the case, it is not constructive to our liberation.
You know what, brother? Another thing that I saw. There's this restaurant owner that I don't know if you should hear about it. Some of our people try to eat at that establishment, and the owner of the establishment wouldn't have nothing to do with them. You see that video? Just no. Since of late. You remember?
No, I've never seen this.
Yeah, seriously. And so he came out publicly apologizing for his behavior. And I'm saying, 2024, we still have that where these people don't even want us to come at their place. And our people is still seeing it's okay to think that we should go and, be with these people, like you say, for love. You joking? No, not me.
I mean, to me, it's like when we do the tribalism thing, it's like, I don't know what state Tim Scott is from. I think he's from one of the Carolinas. Somebody can correct me on that. I'm not sure where Tim Scott is from. But he's known for saying that, what did he say? Jim Crow wasn't so bad and, racism is over, things like that. That's like me saying black people from the Carolinas are not like us, and they're actually colonizers. They're, why are we separating ourselves up because of a few traitors? There are always going to be traitors, and some communities might have more traitors than others, and that's fine. But to sit up here and use division tactics, that's not constructive. It's not going to help liberate us. Those people that claim to be, that we would claim to be oppressing us, that look just like us, are oppressed themselves, and they just might not know it. Let's go to the next guest. Fatima is an orphan. Give us your age, race, and pronouns. Who the hell is Fatima? Does anybody know who Fatima is? Or is it Fatima? I think it's Fatima. Fatima, you gotta unmute your mic, Fatima. Going once. Going twice. Gotta unmute your mic. All right, we're gonna move on.
And brother Tilly, was that video you talking about from the United States?
Yes.
I think you talking about the video from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, that's in my state. Yeah, that restaurant. I've never actually been to that restaurant, but yeah, that was a crazy video. Because you know he looked real guilty.
It annoyed me when I saw it. I was like, no.
But black folks in Alabama, they kind of the Klan and the Confederates have actually calmed down a little bit as far as their actions toward black people, but we still get really good microaggressions. But definitely Tuscaloosa is a college town and very, very racist and very southern. So I don't know why they were surprised that they couldn't eat at these white folks' restaurant. Like, but yeah. Next guest.
It's annoying.
Yeah, next guest. I don't know what your name is. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
My name is Precious. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay. And your race?
I'm black.
All right.
Black.
Talk to us.
I wanted to add something on the discussion about interracial marriage between black and white people. So, first of all, I would like to educate our melanated beings, our melanated brothers, on the fact that we are not the same as these Caucasians. We are completely different people. Biologically speaking, we are not the same. There's nothing the same about us. So, interracial marriages between us is more like a fox marrying a wolf. Okay, we look quite similar, but there's nothing really the same about us. Like, we are completely different spiritually, physically. So marrying Caucasian is more like you are putting us on a losing end, because the gifts carried on from your melanated body will be passed down to a Caucasian, and then our numbers dwindle. When we talk about souls reincarnating and all that, you then give more rise in the numbers of Caucasians, and also the thing with giving birth to mixed children, neither white and never black, that's not something I would want people to put their children through, because the child grows up being not black and not white, not even recognized and loved from any part of the race. Like, that's a very sticky situation to find yourself, and I wouldn't want to grow up like that, and I wouldn't want people putting their children through all that drama, all because they just want to please themselves. Like, this is what we talk about. This is when we talk about marrying the Gentiles. The Jews and the Gentiles are not meant to mix up with themselves, and I know a lot of people do it because of ignorance, but we really need to awaken. We need to awaken as Africans. We need to awaken. I think that's what I want to see now.
I totally agree, brother. We're on a different level. Complete different level that we are. I did some study and I found out that we are like the only race of humans that is 100% human. Like, not even funny.
I think a lot of black people still don't know that we are
Yeah.
still under this we are still under racism. A lot of people don't know we are still under colonialism. Like it's more of a mental slavery now. We are imprisoned mentally. Like they've boxed us all mentally, and we don't know. And that's the most painful part. The most painful part is the fact that we do not know we are slaves. We are in bondage, and the thing with mental slavery is like it's the worst because you think you are free, but you're not free.
Yeah.
Mental slavery is the worst. You think you are free, but you're not free. You see our women always putting on wigs of Caucasians and stuff like that, always trying to make up to always want to look like a Caucasian. Like the standard of beauty now for black people is always trying to look like a Caucasian. These things, like I don't even know how to explain it because if you say these things to most of our people, they tend to get defensive and they will tell you why they should be doing what they are doing. We all need to awaken, please, brothers. We need to awaken. We
Brother,
need to awaken
the
and
people are having a hard
like
time hearing you. You sound very muffled. But I appreciate a lot of what you said. Thanks for coming up on the live. Let me go to the next guest. You gone for quite a while. But thank you for contributing.
yeah, thank you.
What's going on, Brother Timothy?
Hey, what's going on, family?
Hey, peace. Did you want to talk to the people?
Sure. Are interracial marriages between black and white people ethical? No, they are not. Technically speaking, under systems and constructs based off of racism, white supremacy. I mean, I would even argue to say that it's not even possible for black people who are the victims of these constructs of racism, white supremacy, to be able to even consent to relationships with the people that benefit the most from these systems and constructs of racism, white supremacy. Like, it's just not, the way that the system is designed, it is that white people benefit from the destruction and detriment of black people. So how is it possible to have a consensual relationship when that power dynamic, where just by your experiencing trauma as a black person benefits this so-called partner that you're with? Like, that's not, that doesn't operate. That doesn't work. It never will work. And those who try to make it seem like it works are those that are just unfortunately suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. They're suffering from Stockholm syndrome. They haven't decolonized enough. They haven't looked into the history enough. They haven't analyzed dynamics of power enough to be able to really understand that, there are just some situations where things are not ethical, and trying to engage in relations with your oppressor is one of them. So,
Absolutely. Lyrical, what's going on? Lyrical, you here?
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. Peace, brother.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
All right. Go ahead, talk to
us. Interracial marriages between black and white people are extremely unethical. I like what Telly. Yeah, I like what when he asked, like, do you think your ancestors would be okay with you interracially dating? That's like one of the main topics that I always bring up. Like, do you feel like your ancestors would be okay with this? And it just went with hearing her response, kind of like you said earlier, like that it shows like the disconnect in your mind. Like it goes along the lines of what like Timothy was just saying just now. Like when it comes to like people don't take the time to analyze the world, analyze the situations, understanding the dynamics to really have these conversations. And it shows when questions get asked to them and they don't know how to answer, or they do like the whole loop around, they trying to go around what you're saying, they try to make themselves make sense. And it's like, we all see through it. Like, I don't know what you're trying to prove. Like, I feel like they be trying to prove it more so to themselves rather than and trying to get what's the word? They try to get somebody to agree with them. And it's like there's it's just not like, I don't like it. And it sucks that us, like, as a collective, we like some of us will get lost in the day-to-day and not understanding what's really happening. I say this all the time, like, when it comes to like people and how people live, because of this society, how this society is set up, people are so individualistic. Like, they just think about what's going on in their day-to-day, their bubble. Like the whole thing is like, as far as like when people talk about that whole main character thing, like everybody has like that main character dynamic where they just look at what's going on in their life instead of observing like what's going on around them. And that takes people to a certain mindset to not really think about what's going on like outside of what they're seeing or what they're experiencing. And it's crazy to me because, in my opinion, I feel like legit, like if you take the time and smell these flowers, you will see some of them they stink.
Yeah, they stinking.
Like they be thinking some of these flowers is a nice flower because of how it look, and then they go, you really pay attention to how it smell. It stink. It ain't been in no shower. It's mind-boggling to me, but at the same time, I get it because ignorance is bliss, and people would rather live their lives on the day-to-day in their ignorance rather than understanding what's going on and what it actually is. So that's pretty much all. Most of what I wanted to say. Yeah. I like to have my notes. I ain't have my notebook with me today, so I can only get out what I can remember. So,
No,
but
that's fine, brother. That's quite a word you just gave me. It's all factual. Some of y'all like them smelly roses.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Oh, I didn't give my age, race, and well, I mean,
Nah, you good. We family, man. We know who you are.
All right. Well, all right, y'all be easy. Hey, I just turned 27 today. I'm having a great day. I know some people who didn't make it here, and it's a crazy world out here, man. And I just want to let everybody know, like, really enjoy the people that you have in your life, yo. Like, enjoy your family, your people around you, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You never know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely.
I'm about to get off and enjoy the rest of my birthday with my little brother. Y'all be easy.
All right, one love.
All right, y'all.
All right. Big up to the brothers and sisters that make it past 25. You know what I'm saying? That's something worth acknowledging. Because like brother said, many of us don't make it past that age. So, big up to the brothers that's avoiding conflict. When we talk about nonviolence, when we talk about race and nonviolence, a lot of times we talk about being nonviolent towards our oppressor. And it's funny because we're the only people that are told to liberate themselves through nonviolence. But when we speak about nonviolence in the context of racism, white supremacy, it should be directed at ourselves, our brothers and our sisters. Black men, avoid conflict. I would even say avoid communication with brothers that like the conflict. You know what I'm saying? No one has to prove they're a bigger man. No one has to prove that they own a block they don't own. No one has to prove that, they're more of a man because they can get more dollars from exploiting our people. Don't let ego get in the way of you doing what your people need you to do, and that is be here to help us build in our community. So big up to the brothers that's, non-violent towards their own brothers and sisters. All right, I'm gonna go to the next guest. Adam, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
27, mixed race.
All right, don't come up here if you don't know your race. I don't play that. I don't play that. Y'all know I don't play that. Don't come up here if you're gonna say biracial is your race. Somebody in my comments said that's like saying you speak bilingual. Mixed is not your race. We don't do that up here. If you don't know what your race is, stay in them comments. Are you a dog to be mixed? Hey, one thing I love about our African cousins from the continent is the way y'all put sentences together just be so cut and dry and to the point. It's hilarious. Like, not haha, like we laughing at you. It's just so honest that it makes you laugh. You know what I'm saying? Bro said, are you a dog to be mixed? Yo, that's hilarious. That's facts, man. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all ever see that interview where I think it was a Nigerian man. I'm not sure. He might not have been Nigerian. Don't quote me on this, but he did an interview with this trans man, and he was like, "So tell us, why are you gay?" Why are you gay? Like, just cut and dry. Like, we're gonna cut through all the bullshit right now. Why are you gay? Yo, that shit is hilarious. I love the way Africans. Oh, he was from Uganda. Okay, yeah. Hey, man, I love the way African brothers and sisters just get to the point with it. Like, that is hilarious to me. Big love for the continental Africans, you know what I'm saying, that still speak their mother tongue and still process the world through language that wasn't colonized, man. That's why we gotta give them space, give them room to speak, you know what I'm saying? So, that's something important, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about oppression in the West, we are speaking in our colonizers' language. So the language you speak is the lens through which you see the rest of the world. That's why the colonizer made sure that we forgot our mother tongue and we had to pick up a language that he understood. And so even when we talk about liberation, we talk in a slave tongue, whether it's Creole or, AAVE or African American English, however you want to call it. That is the language that our enslaved ancestors spoke. And so when we speak about our liberation, we still have to speak in the language of those that are oppressed. And, big up to the brothers and sisters. I encourage everyone, African American, to try to learn an African language. You know what I'm saying? Try to learn about where you come from so you can speak about liberation and understand the culture that we come from. Because we didn't have to write down that all men are created equal. We just treated everybody with fairness. We didn't have to write it down. It's funny that Europeans even had to write that shit down. They be acting like it was some great feat. We were the first to write all men are created equal. Well, bitch, we ain't had to write it down. We knew that. We acted on that. We already knew that. Y'all are the ones that had to write it down to remind yourselves, and then still forgot. As soon as you wrote it on paper, you forgot that all men was created equal. As soon as you wrote it on paper, it was a lie. Well, anyway, I'm gonna bring one more guest up here, and then I'm gonna step down for the night. Pearl, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm 25 years old from South Africa. And yeah, I wanted to ask, do you
Are
see
you a
it
black
as
South African?
no black,
Are you?
but I'm dating a white South African.
Lord have mercy. So are you indigenous to Africa?
Am I?
I'm asking you, are you indigenous to Africa? Are you an African by race?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm just making sure you ain't like Elon Musk. All right, talk to us.
No, but I am dating a white guy, which I got him to,
Sorry to
I
hear
feel
that.
like, yes, I'm dating a white guy, and I feel like they are most loving compared to a black guy. Because
I ain't doing this with y'all tonight. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not about to do this. I already made a video chewing South Africans up. I don't want to cause more harm. You know what I'm saying? A lot of South Africans are brainwashed, just like a lot of Americans are brainwashed. But I'm not going. Those people make up 7% of your population. It's own 72%. Oh, appreciate you, Stella. Own 72% of your farmland, and you gonna come up here and say that they're the most loving? When they created South Africa, did they have African people sit down at the table and decide how they were going to run democracy and decide what they was going to name? Did everyone sit down? She said they love us more than black guys. Lord have mercy. We might have a whole bedwench in here.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. They love you. They love you enough to keep you subjugated in oppression. They love you enough to that you speak in their language.
They love you enough to be the demographic that's responsible for the most mass unaliving of black women in all of human history.
To this day.
To tell the truth, my brother, these sisters are just selfish. They don't look one past themselves. That's why they say what they say and behave the way they behave. Trust me,
Yeah.
very selfish.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate y'all coming up and talking with me, man. I gotta go.
Yeah, man. All the best. One love, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One love. One love. And I'll follow you back too. And to everybody else, thank y'all for coming. Also, if you want to check out what we do, we don't just talk on here. We don't just talk. We're Pan-Africans. We're Garveyites. So if you want to join our nonprofit, be1initiative.org to learn about how you can help build with your community with over 900 Pan-Africans worldwide, from Kenya to Nigeria to South Africa to Brazil, Jamaica, Haiti, all over the world. We are black people coming together to build technology resources for black people. We're even helping black people get into tech. If you want a career, we have a mentorship program that we're starting. We're building Sankofapedia, a online Afrocentric encyclopedia like Wikipedia, but from an Afrocentric perspective. We're going to give world history in one place so that y'all that don't like to read can just look it up on our website and be able to learn as much as you need to learn from an Afrocentric perspective. This live is based on the work of Dr. Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and Dr. Amos Wilson. If you want to know who those people are, you're going to be able to go to Sankofapedia, learn more about interracial marriages, why they're unethical, and we can talk about it there. But in the meantime, free Haiti, free Sudan, free South Africa, free the brothers and sisters in the Congo, free the brothers and sisters in Brazil, free the brothers and sisters in Kenya. Oh my goodness, what's going on in Kenya? We're watching closely. Free the brothers and sisters in Nigeria, from Tinubu's turtle-looking, Franklin the turtle-looking ass puppet. Free the brothers and sisters all over the continent of Africa. Free Zimbabwe, free Uganda, and also Don't forget black laws for black liberation for all black people, free the land. My name is Brother Legend. I'm here to raise your consciousness. I'm out, y'all. Black